Have you ever thought of a way for you to hide your data, like you don't want somebody to peep into it and then modify your data? Have you ever wondered that? In case if you have been wondering how to achieve this, that's what basically what we're going to talk about this video. We're going to make use of one of the four pillars of OOP concept, which are the encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstract. In this video, we're going to look at what encapsulation is. But the name alone should be more than enough. Encapsulation provides three methods whereby we can tend to hide and restrict our users from making use of our code or from restricting user from modifying our code in a particular way. And this method I provided in tutorial, like I said, we have what is called a public method. You can say a public member. Public member means that you can actually you can also get it and modify it. And what is called protected. This protected is between the stronger layer and the public member. And we also have the private. This protected layer is in a way, like I said, it's between the private, like I listed, private and that of public member. This protected attribute, it can be accessed outside, can be accessed and modified, but it's not ideal way, it's not accepted way to actually access modified, so I can say protected members. So what exactly is an encapsulation? Like I said, is a way we can hide our data. Can also do a lot of other OOP concept things on it. We can create what is called method, which you can call it a function. We can also create variables on it that we can make use to do other mathematical operations on it. But this encapsulation is really, really useful when it comes to a situation whereby we don't want to hide our data. That just basically means about OOP. And our previous video, I talked about things you should know about OOP, the classes and other things you should know about OOP. So in this video, I'm going to look at what encapsulation is. So let me create a class. How to create a class? Just simple class. Let me give it class. Let's say class. Let's give it bank. Let's say want to do things relating to a bank, because the bank is basically what you should, your bank account should basically what people should not just peep inside. Let's say bank account is going to be our class. So here I can say dev underscore init, and then this is tend to help me to complete it, but this is just basically what we are going to do. Let's say I want to get my bank name. I will also have to have balance, and I also want to know the bank in particular. So it also makes sense if you know your bank. Let's say bank. So here I can say, let me try to initialize. I've talked about all these things, how these things work, so I'm not going to explain them much in details here again. And say bank, and say name of the bank is, so you can say is equals to name. Sorry, the name is equals to save the name is targeting this variable name. So I can come here and say save dot balance is equals to what? Balance, and the last one is save dot what? Bank is equals to what? Bank. Visualize all these attributes here. I can say all these variables here. So the next thing we're going to do now is since in this way, this is a public method, I can call it and then modify. Let me try calling it. I can say my account. Let me create a variable. My account, I can say bank account. Inside, I'm going to give it the name of the bank. Let's say I name it easy. Let's say easy kits, and then balance. Like I can say maybe $1,000, for example, or 1,000 naira. And then the bank, I might say try to call the bank maybe Zenith Bank. I think, or you can give it any bank. This is just like an example. So here I can directly call. I can say print my my bank. So what do I want to get in this bank? Let's say I'm interested in getting this my bank name. I can say dot name. So let's run this and see the output. You can see I got bank Zenith Bank. So let's say I'm interested in getting the balance. I can say balance. Can see 1,000. How are we able to achieve this? Because, like I said, encapsulation is a way to hide our data. Even though I'm using a class, this is just a basic normal class. There's nothing on it right now. We have not done any hiding of data right now. This is just called a public member, meaning you can access it anytime, anywhere. We can access, like how we created a variable, give the bank account anything, or the required parameters, and then we're able to access its attributes when I mean attribute, we're able to access its variable values and using the variable name. Let's say put it like that. So then how can we this, like I said, I've talked about this is a public. So how can we do the art of protected attribute? To do what to do protected attribute is basically simple. Protected attribute, what we are going to do is to come here and put set what we want to protect. Let's say I want to protect this my balance. I don't want people to see my balance. I can come here and once I put a single underscore in front. Remember, what I put a single underscore in front, what I put a single underscore in front, this now become a protected attribute. But since even though it's a protected attribute, I can still access them. So let's try, okay, I see it here. I put underscore here. So let me try, because if I don't put it, there's no variable name that is named. Okay, let me try not putting it. See, we're going to get an error because there's nothing called bank here. It's called balance. So I need to put underscore here. Sorry, let me run it again. Attribute bank. So let me come down here. When I'm calling it here, let me put this underscore beneath here. When I run this, I should get my 1000 out. But even though it's being protected, I don't want people to see this my balance. I don't want people to see it. But even though I protected it, you can still access it. This becomes a problem. So how can we do this? This is where private method comes in. With the help of private method, we cannot access this. Only one way for us to access this is to create a method, or we can say create a function inside this of this class that we can access it from the function itself or the method itself on this our bank account class. So to write a protected attribute, or I can say protected this, we're going to put, you can see that here we put a single underscore. And when we were printing it out, we also put a single underscore to signify that, oh, we want to get our balance. To make it a protected, we're going to be a double underscore. So I put double underscore here. As I put double underscore, it's me to put double underscore right here, right, to get my output. So let's run it. Everything looks good, but why did I get an error? Even though everything seemed perfectly working well, there's double underscore here, and then there's double underscore here. How did I get an error? Because I've protected this. I've turned it to a private method, meaning I cannot access it. Only one way for me to access this is to create a method in this class that can use to access it. I can create a function that can use to access it. So how can we do that? If you have not watched my video on function, make sure to check it out. It's going to be a simple video for you to understand. This is how to create a function. I can name it, let's say, access bank. Like I can say access balance. I remember it takes what? Self as the first keyword. I've talked about all this in my previous video, so make sure to check it out. So I can come here and say return underscore balance. Can say self dot underscore. That's what I want to return balance. This is going to do this method. I can deliberately access this. I can access this attribute that is here. So instead of me calling this guy again, I'm just going to call this access balance. So I'm going to come here and say what access. Okay, let me take this access but balance. Remember that is a function, so or a method. I need to put in and close braces. So let me run this. Can see I'm able to get my 1000 naira. You see how beautiful it was. I'm able to get my 1000 naira because I created a method that can, it's only a method that can access it, a method that is inside of this class that can access the attribute. So that's basically what encapsulation does. These are the three ways encapsulation can be. And a public, where we can access it in where we want, protected, we can hide it, but we can actually see access it by the end of the day. We also have that of private, where we turn it to private, that we can no longer access it. It's only when we create a method on that of our class that we are capable of access this attributes. That's the only one way we can access it. Without that, you can't access what is called a private. Once it's been turned a private, it becomes a private entity. You can't access it anyhow you want, like how we did for that of public. And when it comes to that of protected, it's actually protected, but we were stubborn enough to actually modify, get the output and make use of it down here. And well, we did it here, but when it turned to private, even though how stubborn you are, you can't access it, unless you have to create a method inside there that can grab the values for you. Like I said, what is the use case of this? Because right now of no use right now, but I think if you think of it in a normal sense, You can actually hide your bank account balance. Nobody can view that except for you. Only when somebody that create a decent a method here. Even though this explanation I'm giving does not even make sense, but you get the idea. Just try for us to actually do something, hide our balance that we can only access it from a method. So that's basically what these are three main ways calculation can be used. So that's basically what I want to look at. I want us to look at when it comes to encapsulation. So if you enjoyed this video, what I ask is just to hit the subscribe button, like, and also turn on the notification bell. So anytime I drop new video, you'll be the first to access it. I'll be happy to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next video.